Welcome to Making Money Matter, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kerry Stevenson, and today, we're going to talk making mining matter because I've asked Dean Tuck. He's the Managing Director of Dreadnought Resources. ASX code is DRE. Now, Dreadnought, they're mainly focused. They are totally focused over in Western Australia. They have got 4 projects, good optionality on these projects. These guys are the dream team when it comes to exploration, finding those discoveries, commercializing them, adding shareholder value. Get excited, sit back, get your cup of tea, and have a listen to what Dean's got to say. Because the reason I've asked him on is because I'm talking to him now at the end of June, end of the financial year. The rest of 2023, these guys are very busy. There's a lot of news flow to come. We're talking rare earths, we're talking nickel, we're talking gold, my favorite subject, but there's a lot to talk about today. So Dean, great to see you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kerry. It's great to be here on Making Money Matter.
All right, let's make mining matter. Talk to us first of all, Dreadnought Resources. Break it down in its simplistic form, if you like. I've said that you've got 4 projects over in Western Australia. Why those? Just give us a brief description of each one and why you're excited about them.
All right, Kerry. Well, we are an exploration company. We focus on greenfields areas, so areas that have been unexplored. When you look at some of the biggest value creation discoveries in WA in the past 10, 15 years, you have your Hemis, you have your Julimars, you have your DeGrusas, you have Gruyere, you have Tropicana and Sirius Nova Bollinger. All of these discoveries were made in underappreciated, underexplored regions within Western Australia. And very exciting, multi-billion dollars across a lot of those discoveries and shareholder value created. And those are the sorts of opportunities that we look for at Dreadnought. We look for unloved, underexplored regions within Western Australia with lots of prospectivity. And then we are the team that gets out there, makes those discoveries, delivers the resources, proves the economics, and finds ways to capitalize and return value to shareholders in that process.
All
so
right.
we have identified...
Go ahead.
So we have identified 4 project areas, or our original one. So Dreadnought's been around since 2019. Our first main project is up in the Kimberley. This has been a soft spot. That's why I'm here. Paul Chapman, our legendary chairman, is one of his pet projects for 4 or 5 years before I came on board and got to take all the fame and fortune of exploring on this untouched ground. And we had in 2021, we made a copper gold discovery up there, fantastic grades. This is what the dream was for the Kimberley, and we have identified a bunch of additional targets up there, prove up that camp. We see that as an Embanco-style opportunity, prove up a whole cluster of these copper gold deposits, and find a way to get fantastic value from that project. We then added Mangaroon project in case we are an exploration company and no exploration is guaranteed. Yeah. So Mangaroon was brought in as a way, in case the Kimberley fell over in 2021, we were drilling some of our best targets. We always drill our best targets, and even the ones that we don't like. And we had Mangaroon there to replace Kimberley if possible, if it was required. And instead, the Mangaroon's become this outperforming younger sibling. It's got the nickel that we've joint ventured with First Quantum, which we'll be drilling in the next couple of weeks. We have the high-grade gold, which we've recently consolidated, which is multiple Penny West style opportunities, all in one tenement package. And of course, what's really driven our shareholder growth for the past 12, 18 months, that's the rare earths next door to Hastings, Yangibana. We've had probably the only exploration company in the rare space to have a second mover advantage, proven flow sheets to produce a high-value con. And we have been hitting that very, very hard. Delivered our first discovery in June 2022 with our drill rigs. We delivered the first resource in December 2022. We've been drilling. We have another resource coming out in the next couple of weeks, and another resource at the end of the year, which will go into scoping study work, which is all funded. And at that point, we'll deliver the discoveries, the resources to underpin the significant mining operation, hopefully, and the economics proven, and then find a way to really commercialize on that asset. And then we have Bresnahan, which is the latest and greatest. It could be gone in 6 months. It could turn into the next Northern Minerals, a heavy rare earth project. It's a very big conceptual play. We picked up 3,500, 4,000 square kilometers of the Bresnahan Basin using the unconformity heavy rare earth model developed on the Athabasca Basin and Browns Range by Northern Minerals. and we're probably the first company to apply that to a new region. Very, very exciting, very early days. Wait and see what comes up from there. But we'll have boots on ground out there in the next month or two, as we've just completed flying magnetic surveys and quite a few other sentinel hyperspectral imaging. And then last but not least, the bread and butter, Central Yilgarn. Everyone knows that greenstone belts are some of the most prolific and exciting terrains to have geologically. But what people don't always appreciate as well is that it often takes a long time to unlock their value. You look at the Gruyere discovery and the Hemi discovery, Electra mining, the decaying Gold Road, and then of course De Grey. Both of those companies worked in those greenstone belts for close to a decade, if not over a decade, before they made those big discoveries. Now, our team has had experience in the Central Yilgarn province since 2016. So we're getting up there, we're getting our eyes in. We've done a big review lately, where we actually have multiple crews on the ground doing surface geochemistry and surface geophysics. And we're quite excited about getting back down to that area later this year or the start of next year to do some drilling.
Just on the Central Yilgarn, what's the commodity there? Is that a copper gold or, sorry, got myself.
So there's historical gold work discoveries that we had done out there in the previous company and with Dreadnought. We've doing a review at the moment with New Mexico, one of the most successful nickel explorers and Forestania Lake Johnson belts. We have very similar geological positioning to Forestania and Lake Johnson, a lot of similarities. New Mexico's on board, John Hronski's on board. So we're giving that a really good crack at the moment. We actually have surface geophysics crews on site looking to define geophysical anomalies for us to go out there and actually test some conductors within komatiites to see if we can't prove up some nickel sulfide mineralization. And of course, everyone's latest and greatest, lithium. It's a greenstone belt. It's far from Mount Ida and everything else. We've reprocessed that data, and we're looking at. We had Peggy Sue last year, extremely fertile, very tantalizing, pun intended, because there was lots of tantalum but no lithium. So it's either not there or undercover, but it's a fertile area. We picked up the two other greenstone belts recently from Aero Minerals, and we're doing a review as part of the project review. We're looking at those pegmatite LCT potential as well, and there are some sniffs. If it's there, we'll find it, because that's what we do.
Okay. Looking at this from an investor point of view, that's a lot of projects that you've got on the go and a lot of people around there. It's almost like there's 4 companies in one. So what I'm looking
absolutely.
That's what I'm looking at going, wow, there's a lot going on. First of all, Dean, how do you prioritize and where do you unlock the shareholder value? Are you looking at them almost as 4 separate standalones, or is there a sharing of information? Just explain that for me a little bit.
Yep. So we are exploration and discovery is the greatest value creator, and we're a team that specializes in exploration and discovery. You can go back, and the understanding of mining and processing and exploration and development of a project can be quite specialized, but exploration is a logistical exercise. The science is fairly simple. It's the ability to get out there. It's a mindset. It's a challenge of orthodoxy and knowing how to do the right work, collect the right data, and interpret and process that data, and most importantly, getting out there and drilling targets. So we generate targets, we drill targets. It's pretty simple when it comes to exploration. And we built a team. As a group, we have experience in lithium discoveries, gold discoveries, copper discoveries, rare earth discoveries. We have iron ore discoveries, manganese discoveries. As a group, we have a track record in delivering discoveries across multiple commodities, and that underscores the ability for us to look at ground and unlock that value. Because when you go and look at ground, you look at WA1 and Encounter recently, you go out there looking for IOCGs, you define target, you drill target, you get something else. Look at us at Orion. Orion in the Kimberley was originally a nickel copper sulfide target. Because we were next door to Buxton, we pegged about some prospective ground and went out there and hit that, and we got copper gold. So exploration, you can't be too smart about it. You have to define the target, know how to define the target, and then most importantly, get out there, drill that target, make that discovery, or learn something in the process, and then feed that back in. So how do we do that? We get out there, highest ranking targets, the most attractive targets, and the ones that can deliver the big value. So we go into an area, you look at the last 20, 30 years of exploration. all the discoveries have been made by junior explorers. And oftentimes when those junior explorers have that success, they get taken out and the team gets broken up. And then you see an individual goes, I was part of this, go one place, another person goes over there, I was part of this. And oftentimes they don't make another discovery because teams make discoveries.
Okay.
And our goal at Dreadnought is to keep that exploration team together, continue to make discoveries, deliver the resources on that, prove the economics, and then find a way to commercialize that either by spinning that out if we have to, finding a joint venture partner to develop it and use their capital and expertise in mining and development, or outright sale. So things like Gruyere, DeGrussa, Sirius, all of these are very real options for us at Dreadnought.
Well, speaking of partners, I think it's the Mangaroon deposit, isn't it? Where you've gone into, is it a joint venture with First Quantum? And
that's right.
How does that work? Explain again, because I think there's some understanding that perhaps people haven't realized the importance of that marriage, if you like, with First Quantum. How's that working, and why is it important?
All right, so it's quite usually we like to do the exploration ourselves, again, because we're the exploration team, we move at our own pace. When you look at the traditional North American project generator model, we don't see that as very attractive because big companies don't explore very well. And they don't do it at our pace, and they don't do it at, they don't generate the excitement, and they don't have that hustle, they don't have that drive. So we believe that the greatest value addition is in making the discovery, and we're the team to do that at the pace that's required to get excitement and keep things going. So we manage that exploration. So First Quantum came in, they saw the high tenor sulfide sitting there on surface, and they went, if that sulfide forms a massive, it'll be extremely high grade. It'll be on the tenor of Eagle, 3.5% copper, 3.5% nickel, 0.5% cobalt, a few PGEs sprinkled in for fun. And that was a really attractive target for First Quantum. And so they did an option period. They brought in all of their intelligence and experience globally, looking at these systems. So a lot of smart people at First Quantum. And we've worked together. We get out there, we get the job done. They provide some technical input, and importantly, they pay the bills.
That's an important.
So they did the option period.
It's like they pay the bills, mate.
That's right. So we control the pace, we control the relationships, the native title groups, the pastoralists, and everyone out there. They pay the bills, and if we make that discovery, then they don't earn any interest in the project until they have spent $12 million. And at that stage, that's because they have found something, or we have found something, I should say, that is worth going after in mining. So if they don't find what they're looking for, say it's lower grade, say it's only 1.5% nickel, then we get that project back.
Okay.
And we have learned from them all along the way. And then if we do find something, they get 51% at 12 mil, and then we're free carried to a decision to mine, at which point they earn 70%. So we get 30% free carry.
At the end of it, you've still got 30% of Mangaroon, right?
We still have 30%.
Right up until the mining.
So we've managed and controlled that whole exploration process because that's what we do. And First Quantum has entrusted that with us, which is a big tick for anyone who might say I'm speaking too much. But they're there for a mine that ticks their boxes. Otherwise, it comes straight back to us.
Okay, so what is going to be the catalyst, or what's the news flow out of Mangaroon? Working with the First Quantum, paying the bills, that's great. What excites you about Mangaroon, Dean?
Oh, which part? So with First Quantum, since we're on that topic, we have the heritage. So end of last year, we defined 5 really attractive EM conductors. One of those was 37,000 Siemens plates. There's no guarantees in exploration, but that's sulfide. Like that's exciting. There's no guarantee it's going to be anything, but that's a really attractive EM conductor. We're going to put a drill hole into that. We have we have our heritage crews on site right now.
Okay.
And then we'll be having earthworks out there and drilling first couple of weeks of July. So the next couple of weeks, we'll be drilling those targets with First Quantum.
Okay.
We're taking one of the rigs from the rare earths up to drill that. On the way back to the rare earths, we're going to drive past the Star of Mangaroon, which is the gold mine that we just recently acquired. And we're going to pop in some opportunistic holes while that rig is mobilizing back and forth. So we're going to see some early hits on the gold, prove some of that up, which is a really exciting opportunity. We'll probably be back at the gold later in the year before the end of the year. So just a few opportunistic holes to help get our eyes in and help plan for later in the year's program. We then, of course, the closest thing to commercialization that we have at the moment, that is our rare earths that we've been hitting hard. We got 3 rigs turning out there at the moment.
Oh, wow.
We'll have a resource update out in the next week or two, next couple of weeks. We'll have a resource update out. That's our first of 3 resources that we plan to put out this year on the back of the drilling that we've been doing for the last couple of months. We have the next batch of assays, which I believe will include quite a few of the carbonatites, C3 drilling that we've been doing. So we're going to have resource updates on the ironstones, carbonatite assays, more assays flowing nonstop on the ironstones, the carbonatites from there on out, as we continue to drill all the way through into August, deliver our next resource update probably on C3, and then in the December quarter, a final resource update on the Yin ironstones, which will include a significant component of indicated drilling, indicated resource, which will help underpin a scoping study work to help us prove the economics of that project in the December quarter. That's Mangaroon.
That's just
That's
Mangaroon.
For the next. That's just Mangaroon. And as soon as we finish that drilling come mid-August, our diamond rig and our C rig is going straight up to the Kimberley to follow up on our 2021 Orion copper gold discovery. And we're extremely excited getting back up there, what we are founded on, and see if we can't find Orion's friends.
Yeah, because that was where you started, wasn't it? Up in the Kimberley?
That's correct. That was our first project. That was one of our founding assets of Dreadnought Resources.
What have you found so far in the Kimberley? What are the grades like?
So the Kimberley to us, I think our main discovery hole up there was 22 meters at 1.6 copper, 6 grams gold, an ounce or 2 of silver, and 0.5% cobalt. So really attractive mineralization, lots of critical metals in there. We see this as probably the first occurrence of a Mount Isa style, like Cloncurry style mineralization in Western Australia. That's always been our model from day one. There are these quartz copper veins sticking out above the Black Plains soils, which were mined in 1906 by German immigrants selling stuff up to Indonesia. And we saw the Black Plains soils as if there's a breccia pipe, if there's an Ernest Henry, or if there's an Evanco style of opportunity there, that's going to be under that Black Plains soil. And in 2021, we put our first holes into targeting undercover geophysical targets. We hit Orion. We've proven that up over 250, 300 meters of strike down to 150 meters. That geophysical anomaly goes all the way down to 500 meters. We'll be following that up. But most importantly, we want to show the scale of that area. And for the last year and a half, while the market's been really occupied with our rare earths, and rightly so, we've been doing auger geochemistry, adding geochemical data set to our geophysical data sets. We've identified 13 Orion lookalikes, some of which are stronger geophysical anomalies, higher tenor geochemical anomalies, some of them with outcropping dawsons at surface, waiting, begging to be drilled. And we're not going to let them down. We're going to get up there in August. By the end of August, we'll be drilling on those targets.
Dean, I don't think the market, because I'm listening to what you're saying, and a couple of the words came out, when you're talking about this Orion project, you said this could be another Ernst Henry, could be another Mount Isa. You're talking big, big deposits up there. Yeah. I don't think the market's focused on that. I think the market has been focused, and dare I say, on your rare earths. And of course, we all know that Hastings have had some challenges. And I'm just wondering whether the market hasn't even recognized that Dreadnought Resources is not rare earth project. It's a suite of projects. But I didn't even understand fully that the Kimberly project could be just quite as big as it is. I mean,
That's right. We've had major companies in the room of the Kimberley from day one. We could have joint ventured that project from the day we listed, from before the time we listed. So we're here to prove that up, deliver value to our shareholders before we find a commercial outcome for that asset.
So you're basically,
and that's really
leave us alone until we've given you our shareholders a lot more value.
That's correct. That's what we do as a company. That is our model. The greatest value creation is in discovery, and we deliver those discoveries at the pace and hunger of an exploration company, and then find that partnership or that offtake or that buyout, whatever that is, that delivers the most value to shareholders. Because I love to remind shareholders, board and management, we own 15% of this company. Just this year alone, board and management have invested over 1.5 million of our own cash into the company, both on market and in cap raises. We are shareholders. We are here to deliver value for our shareholders. We're not here for the paychecks. We're not a lifestyle company, and if we are, it's a pretty rough lifestyle. So we're here to get out there, get after it, make the discoveries, and capitalize on those discoveries and whatever the commodities are that the world needs for our future.
Kimberley, Mangaroon, Central Yilgarn, and the heavy rare earths down in, I can't pronounce it, Bresnahan.
Bresnahan, yes.
Bresnahan. So you got rigs working on all of these projects at the moment. If you could distill it into, I guess, one overarching, I shouldn't ask you this, but I'm going to anyway. Is one of them your favorite child? Because I'm looking at it, right? And I'm thinking the Kimberley sounds pretty interesting.
The Kimberley is what we're here for. We were founded on the Kimberley. We really want to see that. If you look at the most advanced projects, which is the closest to commercialization, rare earths are very close. Deliver those resources, prove the economics, and really look at what's the best way to advance that and deliver value for our shareholders as the next step. The Kimberley is just a half step behind that. So we want to be doing in the Kimberley next year what we're doing on the rare earths right now, and that's delivering all the resources and delivering the scoping studies. So this year, deliver the resources and the scoping studies, prove the economics on the rare earths, come out in 2024, do the exact same thing in the Kimberley, and then it's competition between the nickel, the gold, Central Yilgarn, and the heavy rare earths about what's going to come up next in that pipeline, because we're going to keep doing what we do, keep advancing our projects, delivering the discoveries, and advancing those up.
I think it's important before we finish up, Dean, also just to make mention, all of this work you're doing, it's a lot. And as you say, you guys, what you do and what you do best is you explore and discover, but you're fully funded, aren't you? We're not doing this conversation because you need to get out there.
No, we are not
money.
No, we're not come raised. We raised 20 mil at the end of last year, focused primarily a lot of that money on the rare earths, which we got 3 rigs going. We have met samples going. We have everything going on that. But the funding, the scraps of $20 million is more funding for other projects than we had and spent in the entire first year of our existence as a company. So that is still extremely healthy exploration budgets. I got a great team of senior geos. Got Leah Dawson looking after Central Yilgarn. Got Kevin Rose looking after Bresnahan. Luke looking after the rare earths, Sam Bussetti looking after the gold and nickel, and of course Nick Chapman up in the Kimberley, and a great support team around them. We are advancing all of our projects. We're fully staffed up with a great team focused on discoveries. They're all funded, they're all healthy, and we're hoping to make multiple discoveries this year in addition to the rare earth discoveries that we're making nonstop for the last 12 months.
Do you get it now, ladies and gentlemen? Do you understand why I said, Dean, I really want you on Making Money Matter? Because he's making things matter. And I hope you understand, because I think that the market is being focused very much on the rare earths, which is absolutely fine. As Dean said, they're going to get that into commercialization. They're in partnership with First Quantum. They pay the bills. But I really want you guys to understand that there are multiple options out there under the Dreadnought banner, which gives them so much, I guess, as you go down the track, shareholder value. And by the way, this is not financial advice. Do your own research or call up Dean and say, Dean, I need a few more things from you to understand fully what it is you're doing. So you can give him a call. He loves to chat to people. And let's finish it up with, give me 3 reasons. Give our beautiful audience out there 3 reasons why you think they should be sitting up and taking notice of you. I could give it to them, but I think you'd better.
We have the rare earths discoveries, commercialization, proving that up. We're going to be achieving in less than a year and a half what took Hastings, our neighbor, about over a decade to achieve. Then we're going to go up, deliver the copper and gold discoveries to prove that the Kimberley is an Avanco style of opportunity. And in amongst that, within those 2 very exciting projects of rare earths and copper and cobalt, we have our nickel work with First Quantum, the gold at Star of Mangaroon, and whatever we get out of the other 2 projects, all advancing 3 major things, the delivering value at all those that we're de-risking one, proving up another, and really have that organic growth on the 3rd round. Solid pipeline of projects and a range of commodities that should be attractive to anyone and everyone.
All right. For our audience out there, just to let you know that for the rest of this year, because there is so much news coming out, Dean and I are going to be chatting towards, but probably just to give you guys a heads up, about the 4th week hopefully if he's not busy out there on the rigs, etc. But hopefully once a month, we're going to give you guys an update because there is so much news coming out. I think it's important to keep the market continually updated. So for now,
Absolutely.
Dean Tuck, great to have you on Making Money Matter, and we'll see you again next month.